The first thing Selina Blackhone felt in the Silver family hall was not fear. It was suffocation. Old money, older prejudice, and a husband she could not even stand near. This isn't a union, it's a live burial.
0% compatibility. That official diagnosis turned a marriage ceremony into a sterilized transaction. Hold still.
In werewolf tradition, the marriage is not complete without a claiming mark. For us, even that had to become a clinical procedure.
Congratulations, my dears. May this union bring stability.
Stability, her word for profit, control, and ownership.
Your quarters are in the West Wing, Miss Blackwood. Mr. Silver's are in the East. The Central Gallery and Gardens are neutral territory. All internal communications can be routed through the house system.
Understood.
My prison had a West Wing, an East Wing, and one direct line to the enemy.
This war just moved to a new battlefield. For 3 days, the manor split itself cleanly in half. West Wing, East Wing, and neutral territory in between. Silence became our first language. If he wants a civilized war, I can be civilized.
Thinking of you, thought you might need these more than I do. Your loving wife.
Fair play. He just classified me as a biohazard. It's Mrs. Silver now, darling, or had you forgotten the traumatic bite mark already?
Your drone violated designated airspace. The East Wing is under my jurisdiction. Consider this a warning. Next time, I will have it disabled.
How thoughtful.
I may admire the family portraits on your side anyway. I do so want to know my new relatives.
Do as you wish. Just maintain the 3-meter perimeter. The cleaning staff have enough to do without mopping up incidents.
That evening, I went anyway. Not because it was wise. Because surrender gets easier if you practice it.
We said nothing, but the silence wasn't empty anymore. It was charged.
Let's see who gets bored of this stalemate first.
The first full moon after the wedding arrived like a sentence. For normal wolves, it was power and instinct.
A bonding observation to reassure the families of the marriage stability.
For us, it was a test chamber.
The change started in the blood, heat, pressure, senses stretching against their leash. And then his scent hit me all at once.
Damn this.
For the first time, the perfect air looked less like an enemy and more like a man breaking under the same impossible weight.
Don't make this human.
We left the chamber as enemies. But I went back to my room knowing the enemy had a face now. And in agony, it looked terrifyingly familiar.
Selina, darling, I hope you're recovering from the exertion.
Exertion is an interesting word for state-simmed and torture.
2 days after the full moon, the quiet broke under the sound of heels and perfume. Gardenians over frostbite.
This distance between you and my Liam is not sustainable for the long-term goals of our union.
The goals being...
Science saw the clean continuity ways. Your body is capable of carrying a child. That is your primary function in this arrangement now.
In one sentence, she turned me from bride to vessel.
My function was to sign a piece of paper. I did that. My body is not part of the contract.
Everything is part of the contract when you bear the name Silver. You will do your duty. Liam understands this. He is a Silver first, last, and always.
That silence from him did more damage than his mother's words.
You want a hybrid heir? There's one problem, Mother. Your son and I can't shake hands without a biohazard incident. The thought of creating a child with him makes my skin crawl. So take your clean, clinical ways and go to hell. If you want a Silver Blackham baby so badly, volunteer your own uterus.
Your silence is more revolting than anything your mother just said.
I had just thrown the first real grenade, and his silence told me exactly where I stood. Alone. 3 nights later, sleep still wouldn't come. So I went where neglected houses keep their secrets. The private library. That is not a guard. The lock on that entrance was due for a software update tonight. A vulnerability. Someone knew it. My first thought was Liam, or his mother, a staged break-in, an accident waiting to happen. But the fear that followed was colder. What if the target was the Union itself? What if the target was me? Silver guards are silver walls. They won't protect me from the house that owns them. I sent facts, not accusations. Timestamp, camera zone, entry point. A real breach, cold enough to be believed. If they're coming for the Union, they're coming for both of us. My safety is tied to his, whether I like it or not. I had just warned the man who was both my jailer and my enemy. The irony tasted bitter enough to choke on. Did he get it? Did he believe it? Or am I waiting for a threat that's already inside the walls? The next morning passed in silence. By mid-afternoon, the intercom finally buzzed. East Wing, direct line.
Blackwood.
I have a name. Use it.
Selena. The information was received.
So he knew.
Actionable. The vulnerability
I knew
was an
enough.
internal sweep conducted. No persistent threat, but traces were found. The breach was real.
Traces of what?
That's not your concern. However, the source of the intel demonstrated unexpected situational awareness.
I have a vested interest in not being murdered in my
As do I. Your death under my roof would stabilize the alliance. It would be seen as a failure on my part, a weakness.
There it was. No sentiment, just hard math. My life as a line item in his risk assessment.
The threat is external and aims at the Union itself, therefore temporarily our interests align.
What are you proposing?
Limited intelligence sharing, coordinated security measures in neutral zones.
You have a perspective my team may miss. In return, you get full silver protection and a direct line. Security matters only.
And the 3-meter rule?
This is a strategic partnership, not a social one.
An ally is still dangerous, but no ally is worse. All right, partners, for security purposes only.
Agreed. I'm sending you the updated security schematic. Review West Wing protocols. I expect your assessment by 2100 hours. Focus on blind spots and unconventional entry points.
Just like that, we came partners without trust, allies without warmth, and strategists across a biological minefield. He handed me a map of the hunting grounds. Fine. Let's hunt.
You'll do. Remember the protocol. Close enough for optics, far enough to avoid incidents. Follow my lead.
Thrilled to be on your arm. The Alliance ran on encrypted files for a week. Then the families demanded theater, the Silver Blackland Unity Gala, our first public performance as a couple. He played the devoted husband flawlessly. I played the elegant wife. To everyone watching, we looked almost believable.
3 o'clock, the man with the emerald cufflinks. He's tried twice to get a special cocktail to you, decline anything not from the main tray.
Noted when the woman christened by the orchids has taken 4 photos of us. No flash, high-grade lens. Not close, not safe, but efficient.
The falling glass was only the distraction. The knife was the real attack. Then the second scent hit me. Not just blood. Poison.
Get to the car. Now. Protocol Echo. Mrs. Silver, this way.
No! Get a containment team! He's going to shift! The poison wasn't just killing him, it was driving the wolf to the surface in a crowded room.
Every instinct in my body screamed to run. I moved closer anyway.
Go. Stupid woman. Protocol didn't include dying for you.
This wasn't duty. He chose the blade. Look at me. Don't you dare let go.
Don't you die, you impossible, infuriating man. I forbid it.
I let go of the war, the anger, the rules. There was only him and the abyss. Then the world split in two. One heartbeat was agony. The next was silence. The sickness was gone. In its place came warmth. Golden, liquid, absolute.
What is this?
His scent stopped being wrong. It became mine to recognize.
By the moon, the resonance. It's perfect.
0% had just died on a ballroom floor. Whatever this was, it was the opposite.
The poison, it's stalled. Not gone, but it's not moving.
Then we move now, before this changes.
We had crossed into something neither family, no doctor, no diagnosis had prepared us for. And we had no idea what waited on the other side.
The ride back to the mansion was simple. If I let go, the poison might wake up again. So his head stayed in my lap, and my hand stayed in his.
We need to maintain contact. The resonant is containing the venom. Break it and it spreads.
I've never seen a bond manifest like this. Place him on the bed. You'll need to stay close.
The assassin escaped. The poison is Wolfspawn 7, a synthetic neurotoxin. Without the stabilization, Alpha Liam Silver would have died with minutes.
The gala.
Minor
Casualties. No other targeted attack.
The objective was single.
Singular. Whether the blade was meant for me or for him, the message was the same. Someone wanted this union dead.
Incredible. The toxin is in stamus. You're neutralizing it by proximity.
Can you remove it?
We can try, but if the bond's stabilizing effect breaks, the toxin could reactivate.
The bond. Is it stable?
It's consolidating, strengthening, not fading. Departed contact with your ego.
One word, and the entire architecture of our misery collapsed.
Do the procedure. She stays. Maintains contact. We'll manage the risk together.
The we was small, deliberate, unmistakable.
You're crying again.
It's stressful.
Somewhere between poison and surgery, the man who once called me a nuisance had started trusting my hands with his life.
The toxin is eradicated. The bond guided the procedure. You both need rest. The bond is new. It will require adjustment.
You smell like home.
The wall was gone, and in the rubble, something entirely new had taken root. The silence in the recovery room wasn't empty anymore. It vibrated with a new connection I had spent my whole life believing could never exist.
Does it hurt?
A week ago, his touch would have made me recoil. Now it sent warmth straight through me like a current finding the right wire.
No. Current.
For me, it's quiet. Pressure is gone. And there's an anchor where you are.
Me. His anchor. The idea should have been absurd. The bond told me it was true. What does this mean, Liam?
It means the foundation of our marriage was a lie. The compatibility test was either wrong or falsified.
By who? And why force us together if we were supposedly incompatible?
Then the logic clicked into place with brutal precision. They never wanted partners. They wanted two powerful heirs trapped in permanent division.
A union between powerful but incompatible heirs is unstable by design. It keeps both families dependent to mediation, and it prevents this.
They played God with our lives.
And they lost.
The people who tried to kill us last night would not accept this miracle, but miracles could become weapons. We have to be careful. They won't accept this. The people who sent that assassin definitely won't.
We are a threat now, a united one, and stronger than we've ever been.
You need to heal.
Faster with you here, but we can't wait. The old alliance is obsolete. We need a real one. A partnership, not for survival, for dominance. We find who tampered with our test, we find who sent the assassin, and we dismantle them, together. Not as Blackwell and Silver, as us.
For the first time, us didn't sound like a prison, it sounded like a pax. All right, partner. Let's go hunting.
Our partnership didn't begin with romance. It began with retraining two predators who had spent a lifetime treating each other like a threat. The assassin network expects division, separate wings, separate suspicions, weakness.
So we show them something else.
We start with the captured operative from the gala cleanup. Drugged, isolated, standard interrogation got nothing. He's a professional.
And professionals trained to resist one interrogator, not two.
Not just two. A bonded pair. We observe together. We don't need to speak. We listen. We watch. The idea was brilliant and invasive. We wouldn't just share a room. We would layered instinct over instinct until one man's lies started to tear.
The moment his sleeve touched my arm, the bond focused like a blade.
Name your employer.
Standard resistance.
Too controlled. That breathing pattern is trained. Ravensum Syndicate.
A rune, protection, or remembrance. Northern fringe folklore.
Wolf's Tooth Pass region. That cuts the handler pool down fast.
His knowledge didn't arrive like hit me as recognition, DOS aids, patterns, conclusions I hadn't known a second earlier.
Was the logistics manager your contact?
Fear. But not for himself. For the manager.
The manager is an asset, not the master.
You're protecting someone higher up. A patron who promised you safety.
Not a patron.
A necessary evil. He serves a cause, not a benefactor. That single flash told us more than a confession would have. He wasn't loyal to a person. He was loyal to belief. Ravenshore methods, Wolf's Tooth Pass indoctrination, an ideologically driven cell using mercenary structure. We didn't break him. We understood him.
Two sets of eyes, two instincts, one result.
When the haze clouds up, you wander so
Revelation.
The
first hunt was over. We had no name yet. But for the first time, the prey had a shape.
To find the hand behind the lie, we had to look inside the house that built it.
Liam, you look recovered. And you, Selina, how supportive.
Recovery is proceeding. The assassin used Wolfspine 7, rare, traceable.
The batch came from a decommissioned military stockpile. Disposal paperwork was signed 5 years ago. The officer died 6 months ago. A dead end.
A convenient dead end.
The attack needed inside knowledge, security movements, the ceremonial toast. Someone provided a blueprint. Are you accusing Silver of betraying my son?
That number had ruled our marriage like a sentence. Now it looked like evidence.
This document forced the union. It justified every ounce of skepticism and every private misery from the first day.
The test was administered by the Interpac Medical Authority. Their integrity is beyond reproach.
Their data isn't. While I was incapacitated, Selina and I authorized a forensic dive into the IPMN archive. A backup server's accessed remotely 2 hours before our blood samples arrived. The access node links to shell companies used by the Ravenshell Syndicate.
The same syndicate whose methods we saw in the captured assassin.
You are making a serious accusation. Why would Ravenscare tamper with a sacred institution just to force two miserable people into marriage?
To keep us miserable, keep the alliance weak, unstable, manageable, and easy to topple. Who in this family pushed hardest for this marriage based on that zero?
It wasn't treason. For the good of the Silver legacy, your discomfort was an acceptable price.
That someone else used your ambition as cover. These codes match your discretionary Black Ops fund, Uncle.
Outrageous. Those codes are secured. This data is forged.
The chain is intact. IPMA access logs, proxy node, financial transfers, bread drawn from a poisoned knife straight to your door.
A strong union is one thing. A bonded union is a monster. It centralizes too much power. I acted to preserve the true Silver legacy, control, not emotional fusion.
You acted to commit fratricide and push 2 packs toward war. You are a traitor to the Silver blood.
Enjoy your victory, Blackwood. You traded one cage for another. His.
He wanted me to doubt the bond. Instead, he confirmed what he feared most. We were stronger together than either family had planned to survive.
Mother, your authority in this house and this family is suspended pending full review. You will retire to the Summer Domain indefinitely.
The silver wall hadn't cracked. We had torn it down with our bare hands. And now we were standing in the rubble with nowhere to retreat but forward. They'll be looking for a crack. Any sign this union is just a performance.
Then we give them none.
Alistair's arrest and Victoria's exile shook every pack that mattered. If we hid now, the old world would call it weakness.
The bond is our strength, not a secret to hide, a fact to wield. Are you ready?
With you, always.
We didn't walk out as husband and wife. We walked out like a challenge.
People of the Silver Pact, allies, observers, a week ago someone tried to shatter the union between Silver and Blackwood. They failed. They failed because that union was built on a lie that said these bloodlines were incompatible, a lie meant to keep us divided, weak, and manageable.
That lie was weaponized. It justified a marriage of misery. It enabled an assassination attempt, and it was protected by a traitor inside the Silver House, now in custody.
The truth, proven in blood and survival, is this. The compatibility was not 0. It never was.
It is 100. The union you were sold as political calculation is a biological fact. The weakness you were sold is our greatest strength. The old lie died in public, under sunlight, with every witness forced to watch it burn.
From this day forward, the alliance is not between two families. It is a new entity.
By us.
Twin Alphas!
Twin Alphas! Twin Alphas!
It wasn't approval from everyone. I saw fear, calculation, hostility, but no one could pretend we were hidden anymore.
The cage is gone. We're not in it anymore. We are the cage now. For anyone who threatens what's ours.
Ours.
The old rules were ashes, and standing on those steps, we wrote the first new one in full view of the world.
Our declaration didn't end the war. It told our enemies exactly what they were up against, so they vanished where power lies in filth, masks, and shadows.
The Wolf's Tooth, black market tunnels under the financial district. Pack law barely survives there. Information does.
And our assassin carried traces of its culture, so that's where we go.
Going in as the Twin Alphas would be suicide. The bond is a beacon. We can't hide it completely from a sensitive werewolf at close range.
Then we suppress it.
Not suppression. Misdirection.
Most bond suppression techniques feel like strangling your own soul. Liam found something smarter and riskier.
We channel the bond inward, create a feedback loop that masks our individual signatures. To anyone scanning us, we won't read as high-powered alphas. We'll read as a mildly compatible, low-level mated pair. Vulnerable. Forgettable.
So we become bait before we even reach the trap.
Newly bonded, desperate for work, willing to ask no questions.
Desperate enough to be useful to people who traffic in poison. These two vanished 6 months ago. Their identities are cold. We become them.
We traded power for camouflage. Stale smoke in our clothes, cheap fabric on our skin, exhaustion painted into our faces.
You look like someone I wouldn't notice twice. Perfect.
I'll treasure that.
Ready.
We didn't cut the bond. We folded it inward, wrapping its bright pulse into a dense, hidden core, like teaching our joined heartbeat to whisper. How do I look?
The power was still there. It just hurt now, compressed in secret. Like someone who's seen too much and gotten too little. Perfect.
The wolf's tooth smelled like rot, money, and predatory patience. Every shadow was pricing us. The hidden bond ached like a suit 2 sizes too small. Every instinct wanted to tear the mask off and burn this place down.
We heard you find solutions. Solutions cost.
We can pay. We need new papers, work, no questions.
Fleeing something, lovebirds?
A bad debt to people who don't forgive.
I might have a delivery job. My usual runners are indisposed. Nasty business, that gal a mess.
We're discreet.
Pick up at the old pumping station, junction Delta 7, midnight. Don't open the box. The contents are volatile, like the people who ordered them.
Junction Delta 7, near the river outflow. Perfect for a drop or a disposal.
The package is bait. They're not hiring runners. They're testing who's sniffing at their operation. Then let's give them a show and see who comes to watch. Delta 7 looked exactly like a betrayal should. Rust, stagnant water, one weak light, and too many shadows to trust.
Tracer. Maybe worse.
They're watching us, testing patience, testing purpose.
Midnight came and went. No runners, no buyer. Just the slow pressure of being measured by unseen eyes.
Readings are clean, no one touched it. The loveboyd's got cold feet or got lost.
Or they're smarter than the tailor thought. This was a waste. The boss wants confirmation on the security leak, not two-bit runners.
Confirmation on the security leak. That was the key. This wasn't a delivery. It was counterintelligence. They were checking whether our purge had reached them.
5 more minutes, then we scrub the site and report no contact. The leak stays unconfirmed.
Now.
We didn't need the bond's full power to take them down. We just needed what we had become with it. Synchronized, ruthless, exact.
It's true. The bond.
The leak is confirmed. You report to a boss. You work for Ravenscar. Or for whoever uses them. Give us a name, a location.
You think your pretty light show scares me? You're a mistake, a biological glitch. The boss will correct you.
Your friend disagrees. He values breath more than your cause.
Our bond couldn't read minds, but fear makes people imagine worse than truth ever needs.
We don't need you to speak. The bond reads truth you don't know you're telling. Your fear has a scent. Your loyalty has a shape. We can pull the name from your memories and the echoes in this place.
Vance, Gideon State with Ravens, he runs the Ascendant Wing. Vance, Sector Lama.
A name, a faction, a location. The ghost finally had a face.
We have our prey. The trap had sprung, but it hadn't caught us. We were the jaws.
Gideon Vance didn't hide in a fortress of glory. He hid in a dead civic ruin, underneath poison, ideology, and the belief that no one could find him before he finished his correction.
We don't storm it. That's what he expects.
Then we become something harder to stop. For once, we didn't use the bond as a weapon. We used it like a nervous system reaching into enemy ground.
Guards near the central control tower. Disciplined. Not many.
And deeper down, something shield. Avoid where the bond frays. That's the lab.
Vance expected a monster at the front gate. Instead, we became a virus entering from 2 wounds at once.
In position. 4 guards. Armed.
Distraction in 3.
This time I did use the bond. Just a thread of it, shaped by Liam's understanding of systems flowing through me. The bond hated the place before I even saw the man who built it.
You, the bonded pair, the aberration. The resonance is stronger in person. Fascinating. Tragic. A corruption of the natural order.
The natural order tried to kill us.
And the other half. Remarkable. Do you feel the feedback loop? It must be deafening. It's clarity. It's how we found you.
The alpha-omega dynamic exists for stability, clear hierarchy. Your fusion creates a rogue singularity of power.
There he was, not a monster from a legend, a neat little man with a microscope and the soul of a plague.
I'm not a murderer, I'm a surgeon. Wolfbane 7 was designed to sterilize bond possibility at the genetic level, to restore purity. You can't stop the idea. The Ascendancy Wing has cells in every major pack. Kill me, and the correction still spreads.
Your cure is a disease.
And we are the immune response.
No! The correction ends here.
With Gideon Vance in custody, the Ascendancy Wing stopped looking like a rumor and started looking like an infection map.
Bureaucracy, security, mid-level infrastructure. He embedded ideology where people stopped paying attention.
Not an army, a contamination, rooted and patient. We didn't clean it quietly. Hidden rot had survived too long in private.
You can't do this!
This time, consequence had to be visible.
I was never Ascendancy. I only passed messages. I didn't know what they meant.
You carried poison into this house. Intent changes sentencing, not consequence.
Loyalty is no longer assumed here, it is proven. Daily. The Blackwood name had once been spoken with pity inside these walls. Now it stood beside Silver as judgment. From exile, Victoria watched the architecture of control she helped build get dismantled by the union she had designed to fail.
The internal threat is neutralized, but the alliance, as our parents conceived it, is a corpse.
We had finished the purge. Now he was placing something even more dangerous in front of me, a future no one in our bloodlines had ever been asked to sign. The folder on the glass table wasn't a revision. It was a burial.
It's not an alliance between families anymore. It's a founding charter for a new entity. Blackwood and Silver assets, territories, and administration under one structure. No separate councils, no veto power.
One leadership?
Co-equal alphas, a die army, in perpetuity. Our bond isn't a private miracle. It becomes the constitutional foundation.
He wasn't offering me a seat beside power. He was rewriting power so it could no longer exist without me.
Succession ties to the bond. Only a child of a bonded pair or a pair achieve recognized profound compatibility can inherit. What we are becomes the new standard.
They'll call it a tyranny of two.
Let them. They called us a biological disaster first. This is our answer, not a return to the old balance. A new one. This requires both signatures to draft. Then it goes to the remaining elders for ratification. They will ratify it.
After the purge, dissent was no longer a debate. It was a memory. No more cages.
No more cages. Only this. For the documents. And for this.
Not family rels, not ceremonial chains. Something new, something chosen.
A pact. Not of families, not of politics. Of us. A choice, now that we're finally free to make one.
This wasn't strategy. This was the first promise either of us had made without a family standing over it.
Partners.
Always.
The purge ended with arrests. The new world began with a signature, a ring, and a choice neither bloodline could ever take back.
The war was over. The covenant was signed. The manor was quiet. But under the first full moon since the bond settled, a different kind of fear waited for us in the dark.
There was no observation chamber now. No sterile cylinder. No one measuring our failure. Together? Just our land, our moon, and the question pulsing between us.
This wasn't exposure. It was revelation.
He was breathtaking. Still Liam. Still mine. Only truer. The bond did not disappear. It saturates the clearing, the air, the earth under our paws. We didn't merge. We stayed ourselves, but we moved inside a shared field of understanding so complete it felt older than language.
We ran not as hunter and prey, but as partners in a game. The moon itself seemed to understand. For once, power didn't feel like duty. It felt like joy.
It wasn't two voices. It was one declaration split into two bodies. Possession, freedom, home.
No enemies. No strategy. No cages. Just the moon, the forest, and the deep silence of a bond fulfilled.
We slept under the true moon, not as prisoners of its light, but as its chosen children, whole at last.